Turn it up. It's Gerod on the air, spitting truth in the booth. We ain't going nowhere. New Orleans City got its heart in the beat, but corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. But corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. From the French Quarter vibes to the Ninth Ward grind, he's the voice of the people, yo, he's one of a kind. Talking about the struggle, the hustle, the pain, but with each word he drops, he's bringing power to the game. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Try to silence the truth, but he's loud and clear. From the bayou to the block, everyone can hear. Got the people united, it's a movement, no doubt. With his mic in hand, he's breaking all the clout. City eat the official scheming, yeah, they playing it slick. But Gerod's on the line and he's ready to kick. For the schools and the streets, he's fighting the fight. With a heart full of passion, he's igniting the night. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. From the jazz in the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. In the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, tuning out, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul.
Yeah! Come on, y'all! Yeah. Put your hands together.
Let the truth resonate with Gerod on the mic.
What?
We're rewriting our fate.
Yeah, in New Orleans.
They know where they at, bro.
They know where they at?
They know where they at.
I just had to remind them.
Gotta lift this place, yeah.
You know that's me singing, right?
Yeah.
Huh? You cut the whole thing out?
Yeah. I don't want to hear no
You
more.
don't want to hear no more? What's
My
happening
ears
with
are
you?
too cold.
My ears are not cold at all.
Cause you
I got on my ice hat.
No, you wearing that Elmer Fudd hat.
That's my ice hat. There ain't no Elmer Fudd. I just took the front of it off. You know when I wear this a couple of
Oh,
times. You
yeah,
know,
you can't. No, you can't wear that.
and
You can't wear that.
let me tell you, it was funny. So I wore this hat. Oh, well, by the way, good afternoon, everybody. I hope y'all all are warm. I just started talking and singing. I wore my hat, and I put the front of it on while it was cold. Man, you should have seen the looks, the eyes, the folks. I'm like, no, that's not me. I'm not him. I'm not. Because you go into a store, folks be starting to look at you.
That had to be when Ice was here, huh?
Yeah. That was about 2 weeks ago.
Yes, indeed.
About 2 weeks ago, they were looking at me crazy. And I was like, you know what? This probably reminding everybody of Ice. I'm like, no, that's not me. I'm not. Especially right now.
Yeah,
Gotta talk about that today. and I got some things that I got to talk about. It's probably going to be more so in the 5 o'clock hour, because I'm letting everybody know that we have been put this show this show, me in particular, has been put in the middle of an investigation that I didn't even know that I was in front of.
For what?
Because I was talking about the guy that operates the cameras for NOPD, and I was talking about the folks that supposedly said that they took the test to get captain's rank.
Uh-huh.
So there was a report that was turned in to those folks over at NOPD, the upper echelon.
That must have been an old show.
It wasn't that old. And well, my name was in it. I will tell you that. Saying that I supposedly said that somebody cheated, which I did. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I didn't. I repeated what was told to me. And then I'm hearing, this is what I'm hearing, that folks are saying that somebody over there told me. I'm like, where are they? Because all you had to do was walk around the halls of the police department and you could hear it for yourself, because everybody at the police department was saying it. It wasn't just necessarily me saying it, but I appreciate the promotion, meaning that y'all are telling everybody to listen to me. So I'm gonna tell all my NOPD fellas and ladies, y'all might want to call somebody and tell them to listen in, because I'm going to talk about it today. And how this has come about. And I'm like, seriously? On hearsay?
Excuse me.
This comes about on hearsay, on somebody that don't even work for the police department? So, I made it a point to send emails. I can show y'all if y'all want. I have made it a point to send emails to those folks to let them know that I am aware of what's being said.
Well, I kind of think they know now.
Oh yeah, bruh, you know me.
Yeah, that's a scary thing.
I'm not hiding at all, and I want them to understand that where I'm getting all this from and what is it? It's amazing where I'm getting mine from, but you all are making life-changing decisions by what y'all call an analyst that don't even work for the police department, don't have no credentials for law enforcement, nothing. A UNO professor. And you all are listening to him making life-changing decisions because he got lucky one time before. And if he does make those decisions, you all fall in line like little peons. And I'm like, wow, ain't this something? So I made it a point today, because I've been holding it. I just been waiting to see where this thing was going. And there's so much more of this that I know. I'm not guessing. I'm not trying to be sitting back and saying, oh, well, maybe this will happen. Well, maybe that'll happen. Maybe this will happen. No. I know it to be true to the T. I've been doing my research, talking to folks, putting two and two together. Since we brought this up, probably about 6 months ago. I just ain't said nothing about it. Been waiting to see what's going on. Now, it has come to my attention that the folks that seem to be on the accusatory side are now putting more pressure on Chad. Chad's the guy that operates the cameras that we've been talking about. And I guess I got on everybody's nerves. Oh, y'all couldn't take a joke. Y'all can give a joke, but you can't take a joke. Especially when some names seem to be rolling out with it. And I think, I'm not certain, but I think, and I'm going to check up on it today. So let me make sure that I say this. Apparently, he has to go in front of some type of board, commission, or something on one day this week. It may be tomorrow. And I'm like, for what? For what? Because somebody said something? Now, I'm going to break some stuff down. And the stuff that I'm going to break down in today's session of coldness, since we're going to be cold, I might as well be cold too. And when I was coming in here, I got my funk up. I was funking up the car because I was trying to make sure, should I do this today? Should I get the funk up?
Man, if you can smell the funk in this kind of weather, that's funky.
And then I was listening to the radio, and guess what played?
What played?
That cold funky Medina. Boy, I was in the car. That's clarification to let me know you need to go ahead on and do this. So I was sitting there in the car, and I said, I'm going to go through some of my notes. And I hope that I need to try to get, and I'm going on a check today, because I didn't check. I should have checked, but I did not check. But I'm going to check today to see if what I'm saying is the absolute truth. Because I'm hearing, now check this out. Now let me run some stuff back by you, okay? So that you'll know, because I think Jazz was here during the time that I was talking about this. So you may not.
I do not remember that.
Huh?
I don't remember that.
Okay. So there was a test that was given at NOPD. That test was to see who was going to pass the test to become or be able to be qualified to become higher rank. It was the captain's test, right? So what happened during that time is that they took the test, and then it was announced who those folks were. When we saw the list, we went, what? You got to be kidding me. Not because it was given in any other faction, except that this was highly impossible, that you've got a police department that is somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 to 80% black. And all the top 7 to 10 candidates, except maybe 1 or 2, were white. Now, it might make me sound like I'm being prejudiced, maybe even a little racist, but that's your perception. But the statistically, got to be a little impossible. So, Professor Shepard was here. That's my professor. I'm sitting here having a conversation with this professor and saying, if I did the numbers, if you did the numbers of the number of candidates that have taken this test previously and failed, and I ain't talking about failed by 1 or 2 points. I'm talking about drastically failed to the bottom, dumb as a box of rocks when it comes to this.
Well, I'm happy you curved your mouth.
Yeah, I had to. And all of a sudden, they're at the top of the list to be promoted as captain. It made very suspicious folks. You got to talk about this. These are folks that investigate crime, untruthfulness, and a whole bunch of other stuff for a living. They know who they working with. Show me what you're working with. They do every day. You dumb as a box of rocks. How in the hell can you, when you've taken this test previously, maybe even a number of times, and you can't even get in the top 20? And then all of a sudden, you're at the top 10? So the question started floating around. So for those that are trying to find out who said this, who told me, I put it to you this way. You need to pull in every one of your police officers, all 800-900 of them, and reprimand them, because they all talking about this. They just ain't saying it to your face. It ain't one or two. So to make things even worse, the superintendent's boss at that time, who was Teeny Cantrell, said, hey, I think that we need to hold back on this promotion because I'm getting these same comments about somebody was cheating. Your boss said this. You, on the other hand, Kirkpatrick, go to a federal judge that you ride horses with.
All right, Mr. Ed.
And ask her to sign a form saying that there was no cheating. What does a federal judge have to do with a state issue? This ain't a federal issue. This is a state issue. This didn't violate the consent decree. And you went over Cantrell's head to get your list done. And then, since there was such a ruckus, you know what a ruckus is, huh? Okay. There was such a ruckus about it, y'all sneakingly promoted folks without letting nobody know. We sitting back going, when the promotional ceremony gonna be? Y'all haven't, didn't let nobody know. That too just shows me that it's underhanded. There's a whole lot more that goes. A whole lot more. All right, y'all. Hold on. We got to take a break. Y'all might want to call somebody to let them know. We coming back in a minute.
I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
My wife was frying okra. She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high, and it didn't take long to ignite, so I ran to the stove, grabbed the pot, and that's when I got burned from a grease fire. And yes, the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the recovery process. On the financial side, it would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't eat fried okra. That's the funny story.
Louisiana Blue. The right card, the right care.
This is Andronika Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
LifeCare provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, call LifeCare at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. So, I mean, today was one of those days when you wake up and you go, boy, it's cold outside. I really didn't want to. Then my phone rang and I got about 20 people calling me and telling me different things. And I'm like, what? I'm in what? I'm in what? It's like, kind of try to make me sound like I'm doing something wrong. Am I? By telling you? All right, so we go back to that issue. And we start looking around and we see that, and I'm just being honest with you, some of the folks that we saw being promoted to captain, major, and then they didn't take my boy and make him a major and skip some folks. I'm like, y'all got to be kidding me. So that makes me go, Yeah, turn that down for me. There you go. But that just makes me go, nah, I got to decide. Hey, yep. But I got to the point where I was just saying to myself, wait a minute. Why is it making me look like I'm the bad guy because I'm telling you all, oh, it's because, I made fun of it. Oh, yeah, I did make fun of it. I did. Let me tell you something. If I did it, I'm going to tell you I did it. I did it. I made fun of it. And it made some people mad. So I invited the person that was telling me that one of the police officers was crooked. He was payroll fraud. He was this and he was that. So I invited Skip Gallagher from UNO to come to the show. Not that I wanted to debate him. Not that I wanted to sit back and say, you're wrong, you're wrong. My question, and I think I have a very legitimate question. See, what I'm finding out is people don't like you to question them when they made statements. You're supposed to hear what they say and go, oh, okay. No. If you're going to do some life-changing doo-doo on somebody's income, the way that they live, and other folks can do it, I'm trying to figure out what's the problem. So I get email back. Hey, I'm out the country. Can't do it right now. I get back to you. Never got back to me. To this day, has not said, I'm free on this day, I can come back. To this day, to today. This was last year, y'all. But yet, since then, you've been on the other station's radio station. You've been on the other show over at the other radio station several times. So somebody either telling you don't come over here with Gerod or you scared. Because my question is this. You all have made somebody, a black man, and this is what's circulating. So I don't know if you all really understand what's really circulating through the New Orleans Police Department. So let me go ahead on and break it down for you and be the spokesperson for those folks that get up every day and put their pants on the same way you do, one leg at a time, carry the gun belt, ride in a car, give their service to their community, solving crimes and doing stuff, and we sitting back saying, oh, we're going to reprimand him. We're going to reprimand this one. Oh, and by the way, instead of breaking the person down and saying, hey, we need to talk to you about something that might be, how in the hell did this information leak to the television station before y'all had a conversation with them? Anybody ever asked that question? Let me say it again, just in case y'all didn't hear me, for the people sitting in the back of the church that want to be in the amen corner. How did the information about my income, about my time on the job, who I've been talking to, the OIG's office involved too, how in the hell did all those folks get involved in anything that's wrong with your people that work for you? How did they get on the television before you talk to them? Who leaked it? I'll sit back. And what's seeming to be a trend to me, it seems to be a trend. Let me make sure that I say this, because this is the first thing that I said to you before I even started up this conversation. I said, it's going to sound like, Melanie, it's going to sound like I'm being a little racist. It's going to sound like I'm being a little prejudiced. And I'm not apologizing for that. I just needed you all to know I'm not apologizing. Okay? Why is everybody that's got payroll fraud, as you say, how come everybody that's in the NOPD that seems to be doing something wrong with their check, black? And a black male. Y'all had somebody had to sign off on their timesheets. Somebody had to say, cool. Somebody, wait a minute, let me go a little bit further. Had to say they were okay with the overtime, right? Oh, let me go a little bit further. If you really want to have a conversation and want to spank somebody for overtime, how come y'all didn't spank Kirkpatrick for allowing $40 million of overtime to go unheard? And she told you, I'm not going to. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to compromise nobody. See, the rats, they were smoking, they are high. And it kind of made me high enough to say, spend that $40 million. You got to be kidding me. So what has gotten me is the fact that every time somebody seems to hit a number, the $200,000 mark, You make $200,000. You just put a target on your head. But I need you to finish. And if you've ever talked to any of the investigators, and this is not me saying, so don't be looking for the investigators saying, I need to talk to you because Gerod said he talked to you. I did not. I'm telling you that as an investigator for the NOPD, those men and women have got to have time to do their job. Because y'all know sometimes the block be hot and ain't nobody snitching. So what they got to do? They got to pull all their resources. And can they do it in 8 hours? Without going on? Can somebody have a meeting with me in the middle of the day, in the daytime, da-da-da-da? No. But if I'm going to work and you want me to do the work, I'm going to get paid. I ain't doing this junk for free. I'm not doing it for free. And I don't blame them folks. Put it on your timesheet if you're working. Especially if your commander, your sergeant, your lieutenant, your captain says yes. Because guess what? The minute y'all don't go and solve these crimes, their numbers going to go down. And when their numbers go down, the city going to come down on y'all. But Lord have mercy, y'all make $200,000. Boy, it sounds like y'all put $200,000 in your pocket. Just because you made $200,000, let's see. You got to pay Uncle Sam. You got all the other stuff, the policeman's this, the policeman's that, y'all got to pay. Y'all got to pay. So if you made $200,000, that takes you up to the what? 38%, 38 to 40% tax bracket. You might take home 120, 130. Maybe. But that ain't including your pension. You got to pay for insurance. But I want you to put your life on the line for your city. So here's my comparison. And I want y'all, everybody that's listening to me, to say amen if y'all in the amen corner back there in the back of the church. I want these men and women to put their lives on the line. But what about them Negroes that just made $300,000, $200,000 and ain't done jack? And we in a budget crisis. You heard what I said. I didn't stutter. We just had a whole, I don't know if did anybody see the Advocate newspaper this weekend? They listed everybody that's in the new administration's salary. Ain't nobody under $200,000. And I ain't heard nothing from the talking heads. Where's going at you? Where you at? Oh, I'm sorry. You know what that is? That's the bobbleheads. Y'all ain't saying jack. But we're in a budget crisis. But you want them men and women to work their butts off. Oh, and let me go do this a little bit because I got friends of mine that are FBI agents. So let me say this. Oh, I'm not even gonna go there yet. I'm gonna do that in the 5 o'clock hour. Here go the other part. Let me say this. Do y'all remember when that shooting happened at the second line when they were coming across Desire, coming from Desire? What? You remember that? And she had the audacity. I'm talking about the superintendent to have a press conference talking about the shooting at the second line. Well, what we have basically is, they've been and they out there shooting still. Pow, 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 pow. She got an ear problem. She can't hear. So your police officers, and Kirkpatrick, I hope you're listening because I need you to go to your police officers and ask them. While you're doing the press conference and you can't hear the gunshots rolling, your police officers did. Because they were all on camera with you. You sitting up there going, I think that we are basically going to pow, pow, pow. They sitting up there like, all right, let's wrap this crap up. Let's get up out of here. These flying bullets. We were laughing. Not at the fact that somebody could have got shot or did get shot. The fact that you don't know your element. And guess what? That day, the person that is qualified to run them cameras, to tell them police officers, hey, look out for this, look out for that, look out for this one. Here's a picture of that person that I'm going to send to your phone. I need you to go look. They look like they're carrying a gun. Go check it out. Da-da-da-da. Was not on them cameras because you reprimanded him and took him off. You suspended him and moved him. For what? All right, you ready for this? You hired a law firm to investigate that boy. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to call you boy. You're a grown-ass man, dog. Guess what the law firm did? They wrote a letter back. And when they wrote the letter back, they reprimanded the daggone NOPD. Are y'all effing crazy? Not him. They wrote, you paid the law firm, and the law firm sent you back a letter saying, y'all stupid. What kind of doo-doo is that? You know what I really wanted to say? You need to take the break?
Yeah, bro, please.
All right, Miss Pam, Miss Shantae, everybody, hold on. Hold on. I'm coming right back. You done got me talking in a high octave today. More coming up.
To a darkened, sinful world comes redemption. Oh, what a gift of salvation. When Jesus returns, will he find faithers on earth? For the answer to this mind-boggling question, tune into FIJTC, Faithers in the Jesus Christ, every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. on WBOK. Follow us on Facebook at FIJTC Write-Ups and on Instagram at FIJTC 420s. Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
When it comes to family planning, should you go with a will or a trust?
A will is like leaving instructions to the court. It tells them who gets what, but your family still has to go through a succession, which can be costly and time-consuming.
A trust, on the other hand, avoids court altogether. So when the time comes, everything transfers smoothly to your loved ones.
It's a little more work up front, but way less hassle and expense later. Plan smart, save time, and take care of your family.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
From Gentilly to New Orleans East, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Miss Pam, how you doing, dear?
Well, first I want to say to you, Gerod, Happy New Year to you and your family.
Well, Happy New Year to you, too.
And the other thing I want to say is, whoa, now. I'm gone. All right. Bye, baby.
Mm-mm. So what you been doing? You ain't even telling me I'm here. She hung up on me. She said bye. She said, whoa, now. Hey, Miss Shantae. Shantae? Did we miss her? Shantae, call me back. So, where was I? I done got all hyped up about this. This whole situation makes me go, man, we worried about you doing your job. I want to pay you for doing your job. And then the report that came across that was on television, they asked her, hey, did he do anything wrong? No, he didn't. He didn't do anything wrong. He can do the 16 and a half hours. I was like, really? You just admitted? So there is a report, a complaint. Oh, I told you I did my homework. Which made me go, are you kidding me? How can you be the person that lodges an investigation. I mean, you the one that's damn, hey, I want an investigation, da 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 da. You find out that the folks are saying ain't nothing there. And you still hold this against this young man that has a family and tell him that you still did something wrong, even though they ain't find nothing, even though the law firm done wrote me a letter and blast me out. PIB ain't found nothing. But you still holding him, because to me, that sounds like retribution, revenge, just being an ass, straight up donkey. Can somebody say donkey? Everybody just went donkey. And you still holding him and keeping him from doing the job that needs to be done. I don't know if y'all know this, and if you've gone to any of these second lines, listen, I ain't talking about nobody's second line. I know that that is part of the culture of this city. But what gets on social media is disturbing. So when we have all of these second lines, and some of them huge, do y'all know how many fights end up being at those second lines? And we don't have no police running over there to break it up. You know who breaks up the fights? The people. Mostly women. Miss Shantae?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm not well at all. I'm not doing well.
What's going on?
Well, I called to call in about what you're speaking about, NOPD. My son's name is Jason Lee Sky. He was murdered November 24th, 2019, and he was murdered by a police officer's son, which is Officer Victor Gant, Sergeant Officer Victor Gant, which was working under Mayor Cantrell. Now he works under the Mayor Helena Moreno. So he was on the list for payroll fraud, right? And he made over at least $180,000 worth of overtime. His son had to pay $400 with restitution, and he was late 14 times. So you mean to tell me your daddy helping you cover up a murder, and you late 14 times on restitution payments of $400 because Judge Maddie Campbell said that was my justice. Andrew Gant didn't get no time in jail. He was late 14 times. I kept calling Judge Maddie Campbell and telling her, if this my justice, it's a slap in the face, because you told me in court if he missed one payment, he was going to jail. He missed 14 payments, so that was 14 debts that I took, because that was my justice that she rendered to me. Your daddy got paid all that money in overtime. He always is something with stealing or lying. He always trying to cover up something, always in the midst of something being handled by misconduct.
Okay, so
and his name is always popping up in the system. And you mean to tell me you made all that money in overtime and your son was late 14 times to pay him out restitution?
So who's your attorney?
I don't have an attorney. I need an attorney. I need an attorney because they're trying to cover up my son's murder.
Is this the Shantae that I met? Is this the Shantae that I met?
Yes.
Okay.
This is her. Yes.
Let me call you when I get off. I got your number right here. If not, I'm gonna call noon. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'll call you when I get off.
All
right. Pop. Pop.
Hey.
What's going on?
I might have kind of missed what the subject is, Gerard. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What you got?
I'm trying to hit I missed what the subject. I was listening. I was trying to listen to what the gun carry law. Do you have anything to do with that?
No, we're not talking about that one. But keep listening. I'll tell you what it is in just a minute. Let me finish up.
Okay, all right.
So if I sound like I'm angry today, I don't know if it's that I'm angry or if I'm looking around and saying to myself, how dare these folks? How dare the folks want to take a look and try to reverse what is right in front of some people's face? And what this does to me is exactly what I see happening with Minneapolis. Over the weekend. Now, I know that's a bad comparison, but I got to put it in the context. You'll understand what context I'm talking about. Now, hear me out. The context is stuff that's right in front of your eyes. And the people that seem to have the microphone, the power, the decision makers are the ones that end up lying to you about what really happened. Because what happened to that young man that was the nurse this weekend in Minneapolis, y'all, they shot that dude 10 times. Now, nobody got shot here. I'm not saying that somebody got shot here. But they shot him 10 times for standing in front of a lady trying to protect her. Because he had a gun on his belt. They took the gun. As a matter of fact, they were beating him over the head with the gun. Not his own gun. But he didn't pull his gun out of his holster. And then they shot him once and he laying out on the street. And then they shot him 9 more times? Like he was going to get up and say, damn, bruh, what you do that for? You dead. So I got to the point of, and y'all got to understand something every time I have this conversation about this topic here. A lot of folks thought I was done with it. Oh, he not going to talk about that no more. He ain't going to talk about that more. Whew. Thank goodness. Nothing came out of this. But I really need you all to understand something about a person that's doing a job. And here's the other part. See, one of my friends works for the FBI. And so I did my homework. I went back to him and said, listen, I need you all to help me out with a couple of things. And they were like, all right, bro, what's up? I want to call the FBI's agent's name because I want to get him in trouble. But what he did was, he said, you talking about Chad that works for NOPD? I'm like, yeah, you know Chad? He said, Chad on our task force. I said, what? What task force? He said, bruh, when we need to identify some folks that have federal offenses or have done something federally, and we need to identify them at the scene or who we looking for, the U.S. Marshals might be looking for somebody, da-da-da-da-da. We call Chad. I said, you kidding? He said, no. We call him because we know he gonna work until he get it right. Not only that, we got over 30, 40, 50 cases in court right now. And guess who on the docket to appear because he the one that did the investigation with finding the stuff. I was like, wait a minute. You trying to tell me that Chad is a part of your case? Yep. And he has to appear in court on our behalf. He's done it before, and we keep on doing it. He part of our team, too. U.S. Marshals, part of their team, too. So what I'm hearing is not only are you working to make sure that everything is happening in NOPD, it sounds like to me that Chad is working to make sure that the stuff that's not state crimes, but maybe federal, you working for both because you're on that task force. But the person or should I say the entity that is responsible for paying you is the city of New Orleans. And they must have agreed to it for you to be on a task force. Oh. Oh. All right, let's go a little bit further. We need to do news first. I wish I could talk to Chad. I hope Chad, if you're listening to me, I know somebody can call you and told you, I hope you got a good attorney. And if you listening, she more than welcome to call in to this show right here because they done pissed me off.
To the what?
High sensitivity.
There you go.
There we go. News is next, y'all.
From the campus of Xavier University.
Yeah.
WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News Now. Hundreds of protesters took to the streets in Sacramento, San Francisco, and Los Angeles after the shooting death of a man killed by a federal agent in Minneapolis Saturday. The man shot has been identified as 37-year-old Alex Preddy, an ICU nurse and a U.S. citizen. The American Heart Association is warning that shoveling heavy snow in cold weather can raise the risk of a heart attack. Cardiologists say snow removal can be as demanding as a stress test, especially for those with heart disease or high blood pressure. And A$AP Rocky is at the top of the Billboard 200 for the first time in over a decade. Rihanna celebrated the news on social media, writing, "Just me here to let y'all know my baby daddy got the #1 album." Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. So when you trying to figure out, I know Pop trying to figure out what we're talking about today, so let me go ahead and give it to you. Pop, it looks like we got some issues going on where we're seeing this police department pick and choose who they want to get on and make their life a living hell. So one of the things that I have the ability to do is have a great conversation with a good set of attorneys. As a matter of fact, I'm in an attorney's office every day because I'm working there too. So they have brought in on this investigation, after the investigation and the other investigation proved to find nothing. Now, guess who done raised their ugly head into this whole situation about the investigation? To the hip, the hop, the hippie, the hippie, the hip, hip, hop, you don't stop, rock. What?
No.
Okay. Guess who they done brought into this?
Who?
The OIG's office.
The whole office?
Huh?
The whole office?
Yeah, the OIG, the Inspector General. and one of the investigators, Ken Petro. So as I talk to my law friends and I try to break down to them this situation, they're all asking me the same question. And the same question is, are they violating the police officers' Bill of Rights? So I said, let's go look it up. That's Louisiana Revised Statute 40-2531. And the New Orleans Police Department Operations Manager, Chapter 52, Section 1. This investigation had been completed. And now my question is, and I don't know if anybody else is asking this question that's over at the police department, but I hope you are. How can the person who is Ann Kirkpatrick, who made the complaint, also, if you're the complainant, how can you be the person that signs off on it too? What? You're basically signing off on your own complaint. And nobody said nothing? That sounds like we just said, you can make the complaint and do everything too. Yeah. You the one. Because nobody else wanted to mess with the detective. So we went and asked for a copy of the PIB case number. Y'all asked for what? Yeah. We asked for a copy of the information, which is supposed to be public record. And my return was still under investigation, can't provide it, So you're talking about PIB case number 2025-0373-R, right? Look, I'm going to do a Tyrone Hughes. Which makes me go, since it's still under investigation, you talk about that 9-page report that also included the independent police monitor, which was sent out on July the 11th, 2024 to Deputy Superintendent Keith Sanchez from the Public Integrity Bureau. And if all these complainants, all this paperwork, all this, it made me say, boy, they trying to create a file on you. For what? For what? So I'm going to find out. Because there's certain things I just got to wait on. And so what I want to find out is, when is this supposed hearing that involves Chad? I want to know what that hearing is and when it is. Somebody will text me when the hearing is. Somebody will text me when it is. And then what I'll do is probably read some stuff. What do you mean read some stuff? The violations of the police officers' Bill of Rights. Maybe we'll read some stuff with Stella Cement and ask her. Talk to her. And then how long do we, are we really doing an investigation on a police officer where y'all run it through PIB all the time and all of a sudden we're finding out that the OIG is involved? Why is the OIG involved in that? For what reason? Some don't sound right. So is this a transfer of an investigation? And why? But I'm going to go back to some other stuff too. Why is and why are you all writing stuff that you heard on the radio? You heard, oh Lord, I'm listening to Gerod Stevenson. He said something. What? Like that's big news. That ain't big news. Hold on. My counterparts talk about you all every day. They call your name out like you're living with them. Like you owe them money. They call your name out like they're like, hey, my best friend over there at the other place, da-da-da-da. They call your name, and y'all call it, hey, which is say, no. Really? But yet, when it comes this way, oh my God, he's dancing with the devil. What they doing? Are they doing a waltz? Nope. Are they doing a line dance? Nope. Are they doing the cha-cha? Nope. And what he doing? They backing that ass up. Girl, you look good. Why don't you back that thing up? And they popping it. What's disturbing to me, and I don't care if it offends some folks. I really don't. I really don't. I hope you all understand. I don't care. And what disturbs me about this whole situation is you all feel it's in your power to call people out, call them to the table. It ends up on television before there is a whole investigation. It ends up being a special report. Let me tell you about what's going on this station. They ain't found nothing. Half the special investigators y'all got at some of these television stations, they ain't no investigator. Y'all giving them the information. They ain't trying to research nothing. They just need a report. They don't know what questions to ask. Half the time, they don't even ask no questions. We just need a 2-minute package. That's what I've been told to do. They don't know what questions to ask. Oh, did I say dumb as a box of rocks? They can't put two and two together. See, I just want y'all to understand something. Let's call a dirt diver a dirt diver. Y'all know what a dirt dive is. You know what a dirt dive is, Wick? You know what that is? You know what a dirt dive? That's a bug. Let's call it what it really is. See, sometimes you got to look at a situation and go a little bit further in that situation because there's another situation that will remind you of this situation. This situation, talking about in this police department and the leadership of this police department, is not new. This woman did the same thing in another police department. So what I'm going to do is call that lawyer and ask her, tell me what happened. And let's see how much of this is the same if something happened to Chad or somebody else. All these police officers that y'all got, y'all know we got a police department that's under the number. So guess what? They're going to be able to not only work their shifts, they're going to be able to go and do some other stuff too. Why? Because we don't have enough police officers. It's too many things happening in this city and not enough police officers. So hell yeah, I get out there and do the details too. What you gonna do? Sit at home? Watch the sheep? Let the other folks make the money? Because they made $200,000. Oh my God, it got to be payroll fraud. Why? Because they got too many days that they working 16 and a half hours. Y'all know how many days that you can work 16 and a half hours? Especially if you got something that you dang on trying to move toward. You got ambitions. You need to get you something. You want to buy a house. You want to buy some cars. You want to buy you want to buy some land. You need money to do that, right? Your folks ain't working. You the breadwinner in the house. Oh, you got to pay that insurance on that house, huh? Ain't nothing cheap here no more. But I do want to set myself up when I get out of here. I got a pension. If somebody told me that these guys are making $200,000-$300,000 a year, I'm gonna sit back and say, congratulations. If I check your timesheet and your timesheet says you ain't done nothing wrong, if I have an investigator that says you ain't done nothing wrong, if I got a supervisor that says, yeah, I signed it, if your own police chief said to you, there's nothing wrong with it, which she said on tape, and you the one that's daggone filing the complaint and signing off on the complaint, there's something wrong. You can't do both. How can you be the complainant and also sign off on the complaint as the supervisor? As the supervisor's supervisor. There's something wrong with that. Noonay.
What's up, Gerod? What's happening? How you doing?
Oh, bro, just trying to hang in here.
Man, Gerard, I got something for you, bro. You won't believe this. I was going to bring the letter to you so you can see it yourself. Remember the thing we revisited on the first 48 with Gwen Nolan saying that it was fun to come to New Orleans for murder?
Yeah.
So look, I filed a complaint on her because, black mothers, you lose their child, everybody. So she said that on the first 48. Man, I got to show you this letter. Ann Kirkpatrick, Reese, Keith Sanchez, no good him, said that they didn't find nothing wrong, and she didn't say that. Said that the Times-Picayune, the TV, the news, and everything was wrong. I'm going to bring the letter to you tomorrow. You got to read this. So that shows you how PIB continue to cover up, everything. Because this lady said it on the first 48 when she went to recruit the cops and everything. She said, murder is fun. You should come to New Orleans. So they covered it up. But you're talking about PIB. PIB is a waste of time, Gerard. Keith Sanchez, cover up case, Sheila Cecil cover-up case, Joe Wackersback cover-up cases, and everybody covering up a case. You was talking about the guy, the cop Chad. They're treating that cop any kind of way. What it is, the Inspector General got a hate for him. Skip Gallagher got a hate for him, and the chief now, and they're just trying to erase that young man. That young man has been doing great work on the force. You know what I'm saying? And when the Terrorist Act happened, that Second Line Act, who was responsible? Chad was the man that runs all that. But they keep on doing this to the guy, and it's a disgrace. And Ann Kirkpatrick, you're right. I need you to call a lawyer and find out why, she was whatever happened in Oklahoma, California, where she came from, and it's just not that. They keep getting this lady all the credit, but I thought y'all said Michelle brought the crime down. She brought everything down, and like you said about her and the federal judges riding the horse and everything, they do all that. But it's a disgrace what's going on because we got other cases. We got the Jace Lee case where the policeman's son killed this girl, killed Shantae Child, and they covered the whole investigation up. And I wish you could see the old documents, how they covered up for the son with Victor Gantnam, and they killed that poor child. Then in 2019, he died, Gerard. 2020, they say he committed an armed robbery on the lake. Now, how can a deceased person commit an armed robbery on the lake?
Wait a minute,
But worse
what?
than that, Gerard, huh?
They said what?
In 2019, her son was killed by the police officer's son. In 2020, I can bring it to you. They say he committed an armed robbery. They told the mother why she was grieving her son's death in 2019 from the police covered up that he committed a robbery. Said somebody picked him out the lineup and everything, right? So this mother was grieving. 2025, they gave her a letter apologizing that they had the wrong person. But you wait way to 2025 to apologize to this mother, but you accused her son who died in 2019 by a police son that he did a murder in 2020. It's a disgrace and unacceptable to what's going on with PIB and how they covered this case up with the mother. The mother have got no justice, Gerard, and they found out the case was covered up. The report says three things. Then they say there was play gunfighting. They say her son had a gun. And guess what, Gerard? They never found no gun. The policeman's son ran for 9 hours and say he threw the gun in the body of water. But worse than that, Gerard, guess what? When the policeman brought his son, guess who was in the room while his son was being questioned? The daddy.
Wow.
It's a disgrace what's going on with the police department at PIB. And Ann Kirkpatrick and the Inspector General is in a big cahoots. Because when you talked about the cheating scandal, remember? The cheating scandal was one page, right? And so he called, just like you said, did you cheat? No. Hung the phone up, right? Now, two things happened with that cheating scandal, right? All of a sudden, the Inspector General got deputized to carry a gun, him and his officers. So what she told him was, you make this cheating scandal go away, I'm going to deputize you. And at the end of the day, now the Inspector General is walking around here with a gun when he can't even find out who cheated on the test. And they swept all that beneath the rug. And like you said, Susan Morgan got in. Oh, they didn't cheat. If I'm riding horses with you, I'm going to help you cover up, too, as a judge. So this is a disgrace, Gerard, what's going on and how people being treated. And like you talk about the guy at the $200,000, like you said, if he made the money, it's all good. But they haven't brought none of the white officers that's making $300,000 that ain't doing nothing because they are with the Pando Association. That's a white racist police association. But we got an association called BOP, a Black Police Association, that they don't even talk about. They don't even put BOP on the news. A lot of people don't even know the Black Police Association, exists. So it's a disgrace, Gerard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so And so when I bring you this letter, I think you're going to fall out the chair on this one because the way they wrote it, and when you go to PIB, they're supposed to investigate dirty cops, investigate this and that, but they take down the good black cops. But what they ain't telling you, Gerard, it takes 60 days with a report, right? So the black cops, they get, but the white cops, they wait till 70 days pass and they can't do them nothing. Like the one in the French quarters. I don't know if you saw the article 2 weeks ago. He was drunk on a job. He broke the law. Now they done brought him back to work saying that the 70 days passed and they can't do him nothing. That's crazy, Gerard.
Yep. Yep.
You know, and it's just a disgrace, and you be right on target. You right. They'll talk about what you said, but Lou Norman or whatever his name can say all the racial stuff, talk about cops dirty, him and Skip Gallagher, and nothing happened. My question is, why Skip Gallagher didn't come on your show when he said he was going to come, and why is all the time Skip going after black cops? I don't care who doing wrong. Wrong is wrong. But it's mighty funny to me. You only go after the black cops, but you talked earlier about the rats when they were smoking the weed, they say, and messing with the cocaine. But did they tell you the truth?
Right.
No, they didn't tell you the truth. You know why Skip didn't go after the man over the evidence room? Because that's his partner. He was stealing the cocaine and the drugs and the money, and they let him go away. And remember, I don't know if you remember, they suspended 2 black cops, and they fired 1 black cop from going to his house doing his job. So at the end of the day, they're not going to bring that. But like you said, Ann Kirkpatrick, the rats were smoking the weed and sniffing the coke, and that's why all the evidence, that's a lie. The guy stole it. And that's why you had this little fat, nasty lawyer, Justin Smith, to come to my house trying to intimidate and bully my mama, put his feet up there, and I filed charges with the police, the court system, and a temporary order. But let me and you go do that at his house, they'll put us in jail. It's too much garbage going on with this NOPD.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Ann Kirkpatrick and them should be held accountable. They should have stopped attacking cops like Chad and other folks. And it's a disgrace what they're doing, Gerard. So you're right on point. I just wanted to get on here and clarify some other stuff. And even with another case, I'm not going to go into details, but with Jamie case, what they did, locked the family up, did all this home to this family, and put them on kidnap charge, and they beat the kidnap charge, and they didn't do nothing.
Something happened too. I don't know if you know this, but I need you to check into it. But I heard Adonis, who came here and told a story.
Yes.
About she got shot by her ex 4 times, and and then went over to the police station and they kind of coerced her to say some other stuff.
That's right. That's right.
And they said that her case went in front of a group. I don't know if that was who that was, but they found her. So they said no. They said no. They put her in that case, and she had nothing to do with it, and they told her no. I'm like, what?
That's right. That's right. That's right. You're right, Gerard, and that's true. But I'll find out more for you.
I'm going to call Adonis. I got Adonis.
And I'm going to get that letter to you tomorrow. It's going to blow your mind.
Okay, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, Gerard.
All right, talk to you in a minute.
All right.
All right. Shed, hold on. We got to take a break. We'll take the break. We'll come back.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. Offscript Media has its eyes on the future of content. It's a vertically integrated and creator-powered media and commerce company that views itself as a one-stop shop for someone making content. Datavio Samuels is CEO of Offscript, and he says the company is focused on content creators in social.
Yeah, look, I think that social is the #1 platform that matters. It's where all of the world's attention is. So often you're finding these people because they are popping or doing something really incredible in social. But when it comes to how can you help monetize them, them? How could you build them? Do they have real proof points that they can create long-form content that can sustain attention? YouTube is that space.
Offscript is charting new territory, taking the more traditional idea of an A&R at a record label and updating it for the digital age. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Pardon me if I'm not surprised that the state of Louisiana has put the kibosh on DEI. Governor Jeff Landry says he wants to return to the way it used to be. Hell, the way it used to be? Does that include slavery and Jim Crow laws? Landry insists his reasoning for removing the diversity, equity, and inclusion language from state civil service hiring policy is to shift the focus back to strict merit-based employment, as if there was such a thing ever. Landry and other hard right-wing Republicans are of the belief that DEI hinders true equal opportunity, favoring unqualified minorities and others over otherwise well-deserving whites. Civil rights proponents argue that DEI policies exist and are necessary because the playing field was never equal in the first place. Moreover, that removing such policies will only increase barriers for marginalized citizens attempting to gain fair access to public employment. Now, I'm old enough to remember what it was like prior to the passage of the Civil Rights Act, when African Americans were still being subjected to centuries-old systemic discrimination and exclusion that left blacks and women underrepresented in the education and job field. It's indisputable that the United States has a long history of discrimination. Affirmative action programs were created after the Civil Rights Movement to counteract such discrimination. Lest we forget, it was the Trump administration that began the nationwide attack on DEI. And now with the backlash underway to seemingly undermine the progress of African Americans and other marginalized groups, I have serious doubts about whether removing DEI programs will bode well for the marginalized. I'm equally troubled by the statement made by Trump recently, alleging that whites were treated badly by the Civil Rights Act. Let that sink in. This is Norman Robinson off the top.
Hey, this is Steve Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
What if just $50 could open the door to your new home? Godance is inviting you to enter their Key to Your Heart house raffle, where one ticket gives you a chance to win a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in the city of New Orleans. The drawing will happen on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Tickets must be purchased by February 12th at 11:59 p.m. Enter now at Raise, RAYZE.it/Key to Your Heart.
The Historic New Orleans Collection presents a new exhibition open through June 7th, 2026. The Trail They Blazed. Built collaboratively with people who participated in the local civil rights movement, The Trail They Blazed presents stories of social and racial justice straight from the people who lived them. Listen to leaders tell their stories of resistance and persistence in their own voices, recorded by the Historic New Orleans Collection. Plan your visit to 520 Royal Street in the French Quarter and reserve your free tickets at hnoc.org today.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230
AM. All right, folks. Gerard Stevens with you. Shad, what's happening with you?
Hey, man, to tie into the conversation that you're having in reference to payroll, as I put in the chat a little earlier, what are they going to do when they factor in under the big, beautiful bill, big, ugly bill, whatever you want to call it, tips and overtime is not taxed. And I say that because if your overtime is not taxed, then people are going to be making more.
Who said overtime's not taxed? I thought it was just tips.
In the big, beautiful bill, overtime is not taxed. And if I'm wrong, I want somebody to
I think you're wrong about that
check
one.
me on that.
I think you're wrong.
I know how my check looked with the. Nevertheless, that's gonna happen. So that's gonna affect what's happening, and that's gonna affect the bottom line or the top line. That with people's wages, as Noonan Man just talked about, this Inspector General, the way he has disrespected the current criminal sheriff, the incoming criminal sheriff, and the independent police monitor, does he have brain enough to be licensed, to be commissioned by the New Orleans Police Department?
And you are right. It says no tax on overtime. Provisions are included in Section 70202 of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. You are correct.
Okay. And once again, I appreciate this station, especially you, because you're a fact checker. So what I'm not understanding is Chlamydia, Gonichi, whoever, is the Inspector General. Have you all checked his mental capacity for him to carry? And why is there a need for him to carry when, if I'm not mistaken, the NAACP of New Orleans tried to get subpoena power and stuff like that for the Independent Police Monitor's Office, whose direct responsibility is to bring corrupt cops to justice. So if you did it for him, why aren't you doing it for Miss Stella in her office? Lastly, I saw that our congressman had a meeting, and he had some fellow congresspeople with him at City Hall in reference to immigration. And I saw where the city council at large president, councilperson J.P. Morrell, spoke. This is a message to councilperson at large J.P. Morrell and to everyone who sits on the city council, and to our new mayor, who's our first Latino mayor. If you're truly serious and want to deter ICE, create legislation to where it is illegal for law enforcement officers while they're doing business to have their faces covered.
I think they're working on that. I'm not certain, but yeah, you are correct that they should not, and no other law enforcement agency, other than those that are undercover, like U.S. Marshals or someone of that sort, covers their face while they're working. You are correct. And
here again, the mayor is the first Latino mayor. The people that are directly being affected now more than ever are Latino people. What better way for you to kind of protect your people? You have a good one.
All right, Sid. Thank you, brother. Galloway.
What's going on, brother Gerard?
Oh man, hanging in here, brother, hanging in here by a string.
Oh man, you come up in this game, boy. You was hot as fish grease.
Hey, brother. Sometime they told me they got to set the aisle at 375, but I asked for 400.
Hey, if you ain't gonna tell it, who gonna tell it?
That's right.
You got to keep putting it out there, man. And you was talking about Granny Clampett. Granny Clampett was a snitch up in Oakland. Her and the police commissioners got into it, and it turned into a he said, she said. She said she reported to the city administrators about the commissioners abusing their powers. They said they didn't. So the commissioners ended up firing her. They ended up going to court, and she ended up winning. So I don't know what to make out of that stuff. It seemed like somebody was mad because somebody was getting something that the other one wasn't getting.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's what it turns into, man. And Sid was talking about that debacle they had down at City Hall today. Do people understand how big the budget of ICE is right now? ICE budget is bigger than 23 militaries.
$75 billion.
Exactly. That is a machine that you're going up against. What y'all really need to understand, the same people that voted for Helena voted for Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you really trying to do, Helena? You can sit there and say anything you want to, you and JP. To me, they just giving Malcolm lip service. Yeah, ain't nothing gonna really be done with them two at the helm.
Mm-hmm.
But you're dealing with a machine like that who's operating with pretty much qualified immunity. You can't sue them. They throwing tear gas, everything that you ain't supposed to do. And if the folks in Minnesota can't stop them, if they wanted to come to New Orleans, which they really ain't, when they came down there, all they did was walk around, unless they know something that we don't know, or they plan on coming back. Because I know ICE is in Austin now. As soon as this ice melts, they about to go down in Austin and get folks out of North Austin and West Austin. They ain't coming over to the east. It's no El Polio Taco over this way. Ain't never brothers over here.
Ain't gonna be none. They not coming to to Republican states.
But Austin is Texas. Austin, Texas is pretty Republican. I mean, not Austin is, but Texas is. Austin is more liberal and hippie than New Orleans now.
But think about something though, Galloway. Texas got more Spanish folks or Latinos in it than any other state, other than Arizona.
Brother Gerard, it's 2.1 million undocumented Hispanics and Latinos.
So if I need to get 5,000, why aren't I in Texas? Why don't you have 3,000 ICE agents in Texas and Arizona? It's because it's Republican states.
Yeah. I tell folks, that he got a lapdog, Greg Abbott. Whatever he want Abbott to do, Abbott does.
Yep.
And that's sad that it's like that, but they here though. I seen them. What was it? It was last night. They were sliding around. I said, well, whatever. Do what y'all need to do, man. Mm-hmm. But that stuff down there at NOPD, Gerard, please stay on. Because I'm telling you, they get in front of those cameras and they act like everything is just A-OK. The NOPD is turned when it did a 180. No, sweetheart, y'all still in 360 degrees of corruption.
Right.
That's what's going on down there. That Inspector General, is he appointed position?
No, it is appointed, but it's by the Ethics Review Board.
See, that right there, that's going to be a problem for a long time. Because I believe the IG, and I'm not afraid to say it, sir, you're corrupt. And you said it best, you picking on people that you don't like for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But you keep on picking on somebody, and then somebody's going to let the floodgates open.
See, what's not being said, though, in this whole scenario of the IG's office is the fact that what I thought Noonan was going to say it, but he didn't say it. This man has asked for emails, telephone calls, and all these different issues of city employees. I think the last one was for Nord, that whole department. And he made a statement on the television or in the newspaper that basically said, hey, that they're not above the law. This is a public entity, and I have the right to go in and ask for all these different things and check to see and make sure that there's no type of corruption. So Noonan took his words and reversed it on him and requested copies of his emails and his telephone calls for his office, since it's a public entity too. And he's fighting Nooney in court, and the Fourth Circuit is stopping it from happening. And I'm wondering why, because usually when the Fourth Circuit gets something, they make a decision within 3 to 4 days, and those judges seem to be protecting that office. Now, what I haven't done is requested my folks call down to the Fourth Circuit and tell them to take that case, and I get the case number and tell them to make a decision on that case. You either kick it back down to the regular courts who said yes, or you say no, but give me a whole dissertation on why you're saying no. But it's a public office, so you should be able to say that he can get a copy. And I know what it is, because see, what we're going to find out is who's been coming into that office, and you're you're having these conversations one-on-one with them when you're not supposed to. You are not.
Helena, JP.
Right.
I ain't afraid to say it.
Right.
Listen, those two have been running some corruption for the last 4 years. They really think that I don't mean to cut you off, but we got to call a spade a spade. Those two have been purposely trying to undermine. They moving stuff around. Still, no word on the $163 million loan from Entergy. Those two are the main culprits behind a lot of corruption in New Orleans. But they got these news media with their face out there every time something happens and painting this picture of them like they wouldn't do nothing wrong.
Well, nobody called. See, what threw red flags up for me is when we talked about this $160 to $200 million that we're in debt for. You're trying to tell me that we didn't know this before the election? We knew this before the election. Nobody would say anything. Then the other part of it is, if we're $160 to $200 million in debt, why didn't y'all just pick up the phone and call Entergy and tell them, hey, you know that $200 million that we lent you all to strengthen up the grid while we got all these folks with no power right now? Why don't y'all just go ahead on and start making payments so that we'll have this money that we lent you all? Nobody has asked for 1 penny from them. Why?
They're not gonna ask for it. They're not gonna ask for it.
Yeah.
That's JP. That's JP and Helena's buddy.
Yeah.
Follow those two. Follow the money, and you're gonna find the corruption in New Orleans.
All right.
Here, Gerod.
All right, Galloway.
Appreciate it, brother.
Talk to you in a minute. All right, y'all. Take a break.
AURN News.
The killing of Alex Peretti has shocked the nation and ignited even more firestorm over the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. Peretti, a 37-year-old ICU nurse and U.S. citizen, was killed by federal Border Patrol agents in Minnesota Saturday morning during a protest just weeks after the fatal shooting of Renee Good. He was shot 10 times. Federal officials claim Peretti approached the agents with a gun and was shot in self-defense. But bystander video shows a different story, showing that he was helping a woman who was pushed down by agents. Moments later, he was wrestled to the ground and shot in the back multiple times. The Trump administration has responded by dispatching former ICE Director Tom Homan to Minnesota. Senate Democrats say they'll block upcoming DHS funding over ICE's conduct, threatening a partial government shutdown. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
My name is Armand Gillespie.
And this is Philip Thomas.
And we are the Bald Online Podcast, where we cover all the major sports topics. But today, we come to you all to talk about a more serious topic.
Suicide prevention. A little less than a week ago, a young, talented football player named Marshawn Nealon took his life after scoring his first NFL touchdown.
We stress the importance of life and how precious every person is. We on Bald Online Podcast hope, if you're ever going through anything, to please reach out to a loved one.
And if you think you have no one to turn to, please call 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Remember, you are loved and cherished in every possible way.
Peace and always love from us. And remember, Ball don't lie. Peace.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and do not have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you do not pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call. If you've been injured in an auto accident, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Get in on the conversation at 504-582-9422. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Find a few minutes here before we get out for Monday. And I'm sorry I didn't tell y'all that Dr. Shepard, we asked her to go ahead on and take the Monday off because it was cold outside and she's got her boys and they not been in school. So I was like, you know what, Dr. Shepard, stay warm. But she called me this morning. She's like, I come. I'm like, no, stay out of this mess. One of the things that I have that in my possession right now, and I'm looking at it on the screen as I talk about this. Some people just think I'm talking to be talking. No, I have the July the 11th Office of Independent Police Monitor form that came from Stella Cement, the Independent Police Monitor, that was dated July the 11th, 2024, and addressed to Deputy Superintendent Keith Sanchez from the Public Integrity Bureau at the New Orleans Police Department. And it's a complaint referral, the OIPM complaint. Here's the numbers, just in case you want to look it up. CC 2024-0091. The Deputy Superintendent Keith Sanchez. This is to inform you, pursuant of New Orleans City Code Section 2-1121, the Police Monitor's Ordinance, that the Office of Independent Police Monitor has received a complaint of misconduct by an NOPD employee. The complaint relayed the following information to our office. I'm like, oh, Lord, who did that? Skip Gallagher. I was like, what? Like, ain't that the UNO professor? I was like, who this on? Subject NOPD employee information that the complaint is on. Chad Cockerham, a senior police officer, black male, commissioned. Complaint alleges the following. I'm like, oh, Lord, what did he do? The allegations. One, according to the complaint, the officer violated the NOPD policies by working over 16 hours and 35 minutes in a 24-hour period. Wait a minute, let me read that again. He worked over, so he did 2 shifts. In a 24-hour period. According to a complaint, the accused officer did not have 7 hours and 25 minutes of unpaid off-duty time within several 24-hour periods throughout January through December, January 2022 through December 2023. Y'all talking about a whole year? This is a violation of rule, performance of duty, instructions from an authoritative source. And I'm thinking to myself, as I read this other part, it said, complaint alleges the following occurred during the complaint's interaction with unknown officers. According to the complainant, the accused officers failed to properly supervise their subordinate when they failed to notice or report violations of departmental policy within their subordinate payroll records. So what I see here in this part, let me go back. It says, according to the complainant, the accused officers failed to properly supervise their subordinate when they failed to notice or report violations of departmental policy within their subordinate payroll records. This is a violation of Rule 4. So if I'm reading this correctly, I'm like Pop Jones. Pop Jones tell you quick, fast, and in a hurry. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. But it sounds like to me that you're saying that the supervisor that signs off on the payroll may have done something or didn't notice the fact that he didn't have. So why are you giving him a neglect of duty and supervisory responsibilities? That's why I said I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer either. So I'm confused. Who else involved? Senior Police Officer Chad Cockerham? So you're trying to tell me that if he worked over 16 hours and 35 minutes, how about if he worked 17 hours? That's 35 minutes. That's a violation? But this is not telling me how long he worked. You're just telling me that he worked over 16 hours and 35 minutes. Several times. And I'm thinking y'all talking about like, oh, Lord, in 2 or 3 weeks? You're talking about 2022 through 2023. But how many agencies you work for? Let's see, the Feds, the U.S. Marshals, FBI, NOPD, the task force. And you have how many cases in court for all those different agencies? Okay. We'll see. We'll find out when they got to go to this case. And then when we got to go to this hearing, we'll find out and see what everybody say then. They think I'm playing. I'm not. Give me somebody that ain't doing their job. That's what I'm talking about. Don't put somebody that's doing their job up here talking about something. Oh Lord, look what they did. When I see $1.5 million went to you in a wrongful termination lawsuit in 2022 because of your firing of police officers from the Oakland Police Department, Ms. Kirkpatrick. They're smoking the weed. They're smoking the weed. The rats are high. Everybody's just on that dope.
Say goodbye.
Okay. All right, y'all. That's going to wrap it up for me. I'll see you tomorrow. Y'all take care.